again, the woman from woman empowerment as a purpose, but also from a technology. And this is something today is really very interesting what we are going to share, Alex. If we look at the woman and today our subject normally how our technology about the is going to improve the situation or reduce a contamination of a coronavirus, etc. If you look at the if you go to the first page about the cases of coronavirus in the world. I don't have here the US one, but it is everybody knows it because it's always in the news. It's more than 1 million cases already. Japanese have at least 10 times less cases of coronavirus. I think this is again is a very well connection about the bacteria system, and this is you can see there that how a country like France have very bad status because of the super consumption of antibiotics, which damage the microbiome system. Now there is something interesting because we start about this woman empowerment today. Is if you look about the cases, men and women. Men is making 2/3 of cases at least. Woman has more protection against the virus. And everybody in the beginning think, okay, this is because of the woman have a beta mitochondria system. So mitochondria of the woman is more resilient to shock than the men, which is true. But I think there is another things, and this is if you move to the next pages of the virus. It's very, very simple, Alex. If you look here at the spike of this coronavirus, which everybody see in TV, so this is the spikes or the doors that allow the bridge to go into the cell to contaminate it. Now, why is women have more advantage than men? Women have hormone estrogen, and this metabolite of these hormones can at least confuse or avoid these spikes to connect with this cell. One of the estrogen-like activity, like diazine or other metabolites from this woman hormones around the women to avoid contamination or increase the viral charge of the virus comparing to a man. Now, how can we bring this science into a very clear application? We thought that if we just copy the woman advantage and expand it, so we just focus, and this is not only in this year. We have been working into immunity. Virus has been the enemy of a human for thousands of years, and we have been working always about how to improve the immunity of the human body. And one of the organ that we always try to focus on, Alex, is the lung. Lung is always touched by the human. A lot of if you look, one of the reason of diseases of a human beside the heart attack is the pneumonia. Somebody get pneumonia, 75 years old, go to the hospital, big chance he will not come back home. Lung is very fragile organ, and we must protect it from such contamination through this oral system. So what we found always in from our experience in the rosemary, if you take up the product Orisod, it has the rosemary and as one of the major component, and everybody think this is just a rosemary extract or rosemary powder, which has nothing to do from only the smell is a rosemary, but the component or the bioactive has been selected very carefully to be able to damage this spike of virus. I cannot say damage, but intercept or avoid this spike to connect with the cell. So if we want to make an analogy about that, as we was earlier talking, is we can think that instead of protecting the house by putting super alarm system inside, we just protected the key of the main door, that any thief's key will not be able to enter inside, by having a sort of some glue at the keyhole. So whenever anything will come to touch, it will not be activated. So it is very simple. It's very easy. It is, of course, it is not, you can tell me it is not very deep and complicated and reflect the huge effort you are doing. So if I'm your supplier of your house protection, you don't want to pay me too much money. I agree about this point, but it is effective or not at very low cost? Absolutely, yes. If somebody just take our product, and this is what we want to do, and being able to have this mouth mucosa coated with such bioactives, and then being able to be interacted with an influenza or with SARS-CoV style viruses, is this going to reduce the chance that we are contaminated? Absolutely, yes. And this is, we have demonstrated it, proved it, not only for this virus, but for the influenza, which is more priority for me than this virus. And I remind it clearly, Alex, we never focused in the corona as a solution. It is not our research team. Influenza, yes, which is the similar family of the coronavirus things, you know.
Yeah, and this
so
is amazing.
Yes.
What you're saying is that these molecules that come from the rosemary, which are metabolites, and maybe you should explain a little bit more on the solution that you found after understanding these Okinawan centenarians, and why if we don't have this microbiome, how and why we can be protected, and why you developed all this technology, which is unique. This is very important for all our audience to understand, because this is unique. Nobody has this type of technology, and this is not a vitamin or a mineral or an antioxidant or a milkshake, or, you know, all these type of products that are everywhere in the supermarkets via direct selling, network marketing selling, pharmacies. We're completely different. You're talking about something that is really a breakthrough, and these molecules avoid or reduce the impact of a virus trying to enter into the cell, which is what they're looking for, because the virus, in this case the COVID-19, gets into the cell to have access to the energy of the cell, so the virus can replicate itself.
You know, if you look at the simple longevity way of thinking, if you look 360 degrees at somebody who is 100 years, or at the gentleman I saw you with his nice cigarette happily, they don't die because simply the system is enough resilient to avoid being contaminated by something, damaged by something, by disease or by viruses or by other bacteria. So we can define longevity is by ability to survive and have this resilient. Now, where this resilient come from? When the human study the microbiome in the 30s, 40s, 50s in Kyoto University, which is the first place in the world to be very interested about using the bacteria as a longevity solution. The first product like the Yakult technology was found that this bacteria is very good. It has good advantage to the guts, etc. So let's give it to the people. The problem of this success is it's created a marketing concept which say there is good bacteria and bad bacteria. And let's eliminate the bad bacteria, kill them with some sort of something, and let's take this good bacteria, study them, grow them, make companies that produce them, and teach people that you take this good bacteria and you can be good and everything was okay. The reality is is completely different, Alex. This is like a human life is like jungle life, everyday jungle. And imagine now you are going to enter the jungle, and at the entrance of the jungle, you just have with you some nice friends with you, kind friends with you. How much is going to be your survivability if you just have your nice friends with you, comparing if you have another ugly friends who has a lot of knives with them?
Yeah, very low.
Very low. This is the real of the microbiome. Everybody say there is the good and the bad, but in reality, the good and the bad live together. And the dark and the white live together. And this separate this one from this one, it's become weakness. So how can we use these poisonous bacteria that nobody want to talk about? And this is where, if you look, for example, in the human centenarians, the #1 bacteria that live in their body after 100 years is E. coli, which is a poisonous bacteria. Am I right?
Wow. Yes. Yes.
But poison also is very good because it can kill a lot of other things. It can make a chemical reactions. So bacteria in itself, each colony, it's a chemical factory, which can produce something simple to something very, very complicated. You take out this complication, it's weakness. The bacteria that make yogurt, make milk, the bacteria coming from cows, which is the majority today everybody is intaking, is a very weak type of bacteria. The one which is very, very strong and poisonous, they don't do yogurt, they don't do lactobacillus lactic acid, you know. They do other things, and they do a lot of other metabolites, and they produce other things that others bacteria cannot produce. And this total collaboration make that they are able to have such bioactives. I couldn't, and no science today, Alex, and this is no scientific person today can say that we can take such bacteria from this human and make it live in another human. It's like I'm telling Dr. Ellen to, she is hearing us, tomorrow morning she can fly to north of Japan, where people is just eating raw fish every day. And if from the breakfast, there is no cafe, but there is onion soup. She can stay a few days, then the system become very disturbed, you know. We cannot just take somebody from place and put it to other place. And this is what we try to do. If you ask me why the rosemary is interesting like this, why everybody is recently published in Nature magazine, rosemary molecules is good for dementia, it's improving Parkinson, from Tokyo University to a lot of Americans Institute. It's crazy. Why this spice is very good? Is it the spice itself? I don't think so. Rosemary has a lot of oil on it, and if it is coming from a place where is a lot of other bacteria around, this oil become like a carrier, and we can get a lot of beneficial from surrounding things. Now, is this the good bacteria or the bad one? I think we cannot say good and bad anymore if we are smart. If we are scientific, we don't say good and bad. We can say weak and strong. Because the strong one can be good and bad at the same time, and the good one can be good or weak or strong at the same time. We need to have this vision in terms of strength and not just in terms of good and bad.
And the American market is starting to understand, I say starting because they have never heard of metabolites, but they are starting to understand the importance of the microbiome and microbiota. And that's why the American market is full of probiotic products. If you go today to a pharmacy, to a nutrition center, you see all types of probiotics everywhere, in drinks, in multivitamins, multiminerals, all types of products that have probiotics inside. And again, I understand this is a marketing thing because of what you explained. All these probiotics, which are bacteria, don't work in the long term.
The efficacy for any bacteria system, even transplantation, it goes for days only. Now, this is very exciting because you can say, yes, I take bacteria from somebody very energetic and give it to somebody sleepy, and for a few days they can act differently. But the problem is the next is does not work anymore. Now, is taking going to World Grain today and buy some probiotics, is it going to work? Absolutely yes, for 1 day or two. You can go to the toilet, get some diarrhea, you feel good, you feel some change. But the problem is not about that. And if you, in this case, you can just take some dirty from soil from your garden and eat it, and next day also you can go to toilet and it make you feel different also. The point is, how can we use this in a sustainable way?
Yeah.
For me, because you talk about the American market, everybody download millions of copies of Tony Robbins, of other motivational books, and how to become rich, and how to become, everybody handling in their smartphone, how to read quotes and how to become billionaires. But why there is no efficacy? The world is becoming, the middle class is disappearing all over the earth these days.
Yeah,
it's not working. Bringing, I think there is, to come back to Dr. Ellen, she said something, the essence of what I was hearing her saying, I can sum up it, boil it down to one word, which is called momentum. The human body need to work all together. It is, you cannot say this is like a shelf and this is the heart here and this is for cardiovascular, like supermarket or pharmacy store. This is a system that work like watch all together at the same time. And to organize such whole system at the same time, it is really complicated. This is not human. This is bacteria's job. And this is, if you ask me, a product like Bilaj, what it is doing, is it really doing this or doing that? No, it's making that the whole body work together. The whole microbiome coordinate together. It's a plus minus a roadmap for the system, how to operate and synchronize. But it is not just, it's not a solution for this organ, or this is good for my liver, or this is good for my heart or my eyes. The human body is very complicated and has all of this microbiome, and our solution is just kick them to work together efficiently and not stop some and others. American pharmacy store is full of a lot of cheap supplement, Alex, which a lot of them, before they used to criticize them that it was placebo. And when it was placebo, frankly speaking, I was thinking it is much better than now. Now they are going to control them with the FDA and make them sure that there is bioactive inside, which create more problems than before. Because now if you take somebody who's going to take a lot of zinc, because they are reading that zinc is very important for immunity, his absorption of calcium is going to go down. Very, very complicated system. So I think our solution or our technology is not to bring what is human don't have, is to bring them a system that can collaborate and organize their organs. And this is what we have been focusing in all of our technology.
Yes, and people think that we have prebiotics or probiotics because that's what they know. And they are even asking tonight if our products have prebiotics and probiotics. And at the end, this goes beyond that. I think that you have a great explanation that we get the milk from the cow or the egg from the chicken, which is what really works. And that's what we're giving through a product like Belash or Cronui or Inner 7 or Hasaki. All the products have metabolites. And I want to be clear because in the US market, we have just begun, and there's a lot to teach the market and to teach our distributors, to teach our customers. So they understand that this is different and this is a breakthrough technology, and that's why our products really work.